charlietrix.
Oh.
Remise and Jhan Boom.
Let's go. Woo! Yes, y'all. I gotta get that better. That was a little sloppy.
That's what she said.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Fans Perspective. I am your host, charlietrix, and I'm here with my brother
Remise. What's good, everybody?
Remise's in the building, and we got my man,
It's your boy Jhan Boom.
Jhan Boom is in the building. You know what it is.
Yes.
It is a beautiful, sunny Saturday, May 27th. Happy
Wow.
Memorial Day weekend,
sir.
everybody. What's going on? What's up, fellas?
Good weekend for barbecuing.
You know it.
Barbecues are in full effect right now. We got a live show coming in today. We got a lot of fun topics we're going to talk about. Anything before we jump right in?
Yo, I think, you know what I'm saying? It's your boy Jhan Boom was popping people, and we back in this motherfucker. Memorial Day weekend special, you know.
MDW.
That holds a special, place in my heart, you feel me? It's a very special weekend, and we're going to get right into it, man. Stop all that dry snitching.
There you go. Why don't you set it up?
Yo, let's just go right in.
Tell us why, man.
Now, Memorial Day, this is a special event that happened prior to today starting. But first of all, let's give a shout out to all the fallen soldiers in Memorial Day, which is the reason why today we out here actively in military. Actively fell in military duty. So shout out to it because we all got some of them in our camp. Second thing, Memorial Day is a very special day because that marks a 15-year Friends anniversary with a Z. 15 years ago, Remise, myself, and a group of others met up together at a beautiful beach house in Long Beach Island, and we formed a pack of friends and shenanigans that has brought us all the way up to today. So if you know, you know. Friends 15-year anniversary. So each Memorial Day, we got to get involved. We got to do something. So, but now there's a last piece of the puzzle. If you know me personally, you know I've been struggling back and forth with immigration services to become a U.S. citizen.
Yes, sir.
You dig what I'm saying?
Congratulations, Jhan Boom.
Pow. So as you know, that process for me has started back probably about 2019, going back and forth, providing documents, etc. And finally, 3 days ago, May 24th, I officially took my oath to be a U.S. citizen. So you watch yourself when you see me on the streets. Yeah. So as soon as I became a U.S. citizen, when that happens, your body changes a little bit, especially if you're from a foreign country. So you have all these rights that you can actively pursue or act out or use. Protecting myself. So first thing I did on the day of, I went to work, did my thing. I saw a truck parked in front of a bus stop, which was preventing the bus from pulling up to pick up the passenger. So I walked up very friendly to the gentleman. I advised him. I said, hey, sir, you parked in the bus stop zone, and I need you to move this truck ASAP because fellow bus passengers are not going to be able to get on this motherfucker.
Did you feel like it was your patriotic duty?
He was
Yes,
prepared to commit citizens arrest.
One of the things in the Bill of Rights, citizen arrest or citizen ticket, if his punk ass didn't move.
That's the power. That's the power that just comes over you, huh?
Exactly. It's just, if you were born here, you probably don't feel it. But when you come from a foreign country and they give you all these rights, you got Joe Biden stuttering during the oath ceremony video, you feel a little bit different if it feels good. So he obliged. He said, you know what? You're right, man. I'm going to go ahead and move it. Move this motherfucking truck and pow, first act as a U.S. citizen completed for Jhan Boom.
Yes, sir. All right. Congratulations.
You gotta commit 9 more to fill out the full.
I don't know if though. I think you gotta. That's borderline Karen though. You gotta be careful that you don't let the excitement go to your head,
right?
And then next thing we know, you're going around Karening everybody.
Karen is an American.
That's right.
Fair game. But John ain't a Karen. I am more of a Miguelito. You know what I'm saying? Miguelito, he'll tell you in a nice way, maybe give you a beer after if you oblige. So, not Karen, John Brito is Miguelito.
All right, Miguelito, let's give him one up for that. Yo, on a more serious note, congratulations on finally becoming a U.S. citizen.
Thank you, man.
We talked about it on many episodes here.
Yes.
Trials and tribulations that you were going through.
Right on.
And, it touches home for me, too, because one of my buddies that I work with is trying to get through that process himself.
Right on.
And he's hitting all kinds of brick walls. And, you know, he's a good guy. He's been in this country for years and years and years. He's been paying taxes for 20 years. But
it's a long and hard process. Pause. But it's very much worth it, you know, once you're done. And besides exactly the jokes that we're talking about, I am very much up to date with the USIS information, how to multiple ways of the process, how it works. If you have your green card lost or stolen to new naturalization, you know, TFP is here to help. You know, you hit us up on motherfucking Instagram, YouTube. Yeah, I definitely know, because the process started for me in 2019, essentially to become a U.S. citizen, but I was in a fire. I lost my green card. There was a bunch of shit that I went through that is very informative, and I think will cut down your time, you know, if you know the right thing. So anytime anybody wants a little bit of help, latest too, you know what I'm saying, send me a DM with some news and I'll help you right away. That's an expedited process for Jhan Boom to help. But either which way, you know what I'm saying, I'm here for it, man. I'm here for the good.
Yeah,
dig.
Respect, brother.
There you go, Jhan Boom. Congratulations once again. You know, speaking of government and you know, that process, I wanted to talk a little bit about the government and what's going on in Minnesota right now. Ooh. Minnesota just had one hell of a week over there, and for people who don't know, they were able to pass a whole slew of more left-leaning, progressive style policies. They had a really close margin in the Senate, one vote. So, you know, what happened over there, though, different from other states around the country, is that the centrist or more centrist Democrats decided to work closely with the more progressives rather than against them. And they came together and said, we're going to try to get as much shit through as we can this session. Screw what happens in the upcoming election and how this looks. And it was amazing, some of the stuff.
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't that partially because they were looking at it as there's no guarantee we're going to get another session to get things through, so let's get what we can through? Or
it was. So here's how it was stated, that rather than be concerned and try to go the other way and appeal to maybe a more right wing or bring in some of that side to make up for it, they said screw it and went balls to the walls and said we're going to try to get as much stuff as we can. The
constituents that got us here, let's get it in.
We're going to do it. So
okay.
I have a thread. This is from Will Stansel, and I just want to read some of the stuff that he pointed out here, because this is some pretty amazing stuff. To what I was saying, part of this one tweet, he says, unlike Dems elsewhere, they still wanted to get stuff done and saw progressives as partners in making that happen. So, and to what you were saying, Remy, rather than looking at November numbers result and imposing some kind of self-limiting narrative and about the scope of their mandate, Minnesota Dems looked at their priorities and said, how much of this list can we get done? Turns out the answer was almost everything.
Okay.
So let me just give you a couple of things, that some of the things on the list. All right. So some of the bigger ones. They created a huge new statewide paid family and medical leave program.
Let's go.
Raising the number of workers receiving paid leave from 25% to 100%.
Woo!
That's amazing.
Go Minnesota.
They fully legalized marijuana. Recreational use is on the table in
TFP
another state.
TFP supports
We support this move.
Swinging it.
Thank you, Governor. They made school lunches free for all students, leading to Governor Tim Walz being adorably mobbed by the elementary school.
Pow!
We saw that one. Me and Remy talk about that.
No-brainer of a pozy. Feed kids,
come on, man.
And for people, you should look that up. Look up Tim Walz getting hugged by the kids. Let's say hugged by the kids. But he signed a law making sure all kids get to eat free school lunch all the way K through 12. And the kids went crazy for it. It's like the best promo pick.
That's crazy, man. That, you know, they're taking away our lunches. Remember back in the day, the chocolate milk was available around the clock.
Yeah.
There are people who fight against that.
So check this out, a couple more, right? They created new protections for Uber and Lyft drivers, leading to State Senator Omar Fatih being adorably mobbed. That was the guy you saw being tossed up in the air.
They had him on their shoulders.
They were lifting him up like he won a...
All the Uber drivers?
Yeah, like he won a football game because they got protections for the Uber and Lyft drivers.
Let's fucking go.
Check this out. They codified Roe v. Wade, ensuring that Republicans can't endanger abortion rights in Minnesota simply by controlling the courts.
Ooh, okay. That's
Slamming
a big one.
home runs here.
That's a big one.
They funded...
today's day and age?
And this should take note for fucking New Jersey and
come on, Phil.
Flint. They funded the replacement of all lead pipes in the state. So...
Oh, okay.
I don't know
another no-brainer.
How much more you need to put on the table here. And a couple more things. They banned non-compete agreements and created a statewide paid sick leave.
Oh,
program.
let's go.
So
stop playing.
They have a whole bunch. I could go on and on. There's a ton more to talk
Ain't
about.
No protection.
But really the point of the story was just to say that rather than fearing,
a backlash,
some kind of
from
backlash.
Somebody, that somebody's going to be like, yeah, kids get free lunch. I'm voting Republican now.
They did the right thing. They passed all these things, and I think that rather than suffering for it, all these senators are they're gonna benefit. This is gonna be huge and massive for them.
They can see the positive impact on their constituents when they're getting, they were getting mobbed by Uber drivers, or chanting your name and marching you out of the place.
Word.
And there's people taking photo ops with all the kids surrounding the governor. That's
seriously
really positive press.
I definitely it wasn't on my visit list, but I'm about to go check out Minnesota. It's the first time I've seen the governor being run up on and hugged by a group of kids, another senator being tossed up in the air like he's doing a stage dive. Mm-hmm. It's pretty amazing. And that list of laws and new bills that they passed is fantastic.
And they better oblige by it because right now Jhan Boom is an American citizen. So if shit doesn't go the way it is, I'm coming with Lowe's down in Minnesota. We straighten shit out.
Relocating.
All right.
Ain't no bullshit no more.
How funny do you think it would be to compare what that governor got done in Minnesota and have a list of what Ron DeSantis has done in his push?
You know what? I wanted to do that.
Is that the Florida guy?
Yeah.
Oh, he better be careful now too.
Disney.
Man, we should we'll do that. Maybe on the next episode we'll come back. We'll have a list. Bills that Ron DeSantis has just passed in Florida and bills passed in Minnesota.
Book banning, free lunch.
So what we doing about these crocodiles too, man?
Yeah, well, listen, they got a lot more stuff to worry about. They knew how to deal with those guys. But yeah, so that's that story. Shout out to Minnesota. Here we go again.
Can you dig it?
Pow.
All right, so let's keep the positive vibes going. I got a story that just seems hopeful and nice. Paralyzed man walks using device that reconnects brain with muscles by Ian Sample with The Guardian. Tagline: doctors are attempting to use Bluetooth technology to help paralyzed people walk again. So here we go. We'll just take it from the top.
Whoa.
A man who was paralyzed in a cycling accident in 2011 has been able to stand and walk with an aid after doctors implanted a device that reads his brain waves and sends instructions to his spine to move the right muscles. Gert-Jan Askum, 40, was told he would never walk again after breaking his neck in a traffic accident in China, but has climbed stairs and walked for more than 100 meters at a time since having the operation. So we're talking about 10 years this man was paralyzed. And they did this operation and he was able to walk. As a matter of fact, he said he was able to stand at a bar with his friends and just, have that experience.
That is absolutely amazing. I actually seen some of the clips of him walking with the lady and the walker, and to think that man was completely paralyzed from the neck down, and he's moving and walking
through Wi-Fi, like through Bluetooth connection.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yup.
Bluetooth is everywhere, huh?
We are getting there.
It's wild. So just to explain how it works a little bit, the digital bridge is the latest from a team of neuroscientists in Switzerland who have a long-standing program to develop brain-machine interfaces to overcome paralysis. The project aims to use wireless signals to reconnect the brain with muscles that are rendered useless when spinal cord nerves are broken.
Okay.
For the latest update, Professor Jocelyn Block, a neurosurgeon at Lausanne University Hospital, installed electrodes on Oscom's brain that detect neural activity when he tries to move his legs. The readings are processed by an algorithm that turns them into pulses, which are sent to further electrodes in his spine. The pulses activate nerves in the spine, switching on muscles to produce the intended movement. What we've been able to do is reestablish communication between the brain and the region of the spinal cord that controls leg movements with a digital bridge, said Professor Gregor Courtine at the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology in Lausanne.
Pow.
He said the system could capture the thoughts of Gert Jan and translate those thoughts into stimulation of the spinal cord to reestablish voluntary leg movements.
Okay. Demolition Man is
pretty wild.
No, Demolition Man is coming sooner than we thought.
Maybe. Is it Demolition Man or is that more like Universal Soldier?
Is it? I think, because I'm always thinking about sex. So Demolition Man.
You think how to use the brainwaves a different way? Okay.
All right, it makes sense now. It makes sense.
Yeah, that headgear is kind of
that type of
similar to
headgear
what he had to wear
for more of a positive, more PG-13 vibe. I get it.
So
Sandra
here's going to be the situation though. When are they going to be able to tie in AI into that bridge link?
Ooh, okay.
And then, maybe his thoughts get a little bit of help. And instead of just standing, maybe he's stroking, John. Maybe he's got a little more movement.
Or special abilities and shit. Start running over fences.
Straight up Matrix.
Yeah.
What's that movie?
She gets scary.
Is it Upgrade?
Upgrade, yeah.
Word.
Could be like Upgrade.
We're probably only a couple of years away from that being ChatGPT, 17 or
I might need that suit for my knees.
GPT got people walking together. No, but you know what? Shout out to these researchers over there. But here's where I got an issue with this, right? Mm-hmm. How far off is this process and the fact, because they're obviously they did it on a human, they tested it, but this was one single time.
This is
that
one,
they did it, right?
Probably got to do a lot more.
But
although this is from Nature, so Nature's a pretty major publisher.
Because I just read that Elon got approval
for the Neuralink. I'm very skeptical of.
I'm skeptical of just about anything that man's working on.
Yeah.
But
this sounds a little different. This is electrodes.
How many lobotomies do you think they caused before they actually started bothering with applying for doing it the right way?
They were. I don't know. I've heard craziness about the Neuralink testing on chimps. And
really?
Stuff. Yeah.
On the chimps,
but not on people. No.
Slow down.
Human trials. I would not want to be on the human trials.
But I wanna put this out there without no evidence at all. But I think they lobotomized a few people. I think it's like Total Recall. And he went in there and he was trying to do the Neuralink thing, and it just went to hell after that.
Oh, okay. Yo, good perspective.
Mine ended up on Mars.
Yeah, some sci-fi shit.
Pow. Local pollo.
Well,
just to reel it back in real quick, though,
for sure.
What's it called? I did want to mention this last bit. The device also appears to boost rehabilitation. After more than 40 training sessions with the implant, Oscom, who did not sever all the nerves in his spine, regained some control over his legs, even when the device was turned off. Wow. So Courtine believes that reconnecting the brain and spine helps to regenerate spinal nerves, recovering some of the patient's lost control. And it's important to mention, again, this was after 10 years of no mobility. So they think
huge.
that for people who are more recently paralyzed, that it may have even more...
Be more effective.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I mean, all around, what an advance to make in that field. People, unfortunately, accidents and shit happens, but if we can make progress in healing that, that's fantastic.
Yep.
U.S. citizen John approves. All the way.
Have you? What are you planning for today specifically? Do you have like a patriotic duty that you're gonna?
Well, it depends what I run into. I don't want to be exactly too much of a Miguelito, so I want to make sure that whatever I do is within my rights and also within the rights of the other person. Okay. So I'm not a fool. I don't want to go to jail because jail's still jail here or in another country. But you watch yourself. I can still record from a public sidewalk. Yeah, you fuck around.
just ladies and gentlemen, just understand. Officially now, I'm gonna be watching the situation with Boom. We're gonna see how becoming a citizen has impacted him.
Yes,
and how he behaves.
Exactly, because I'm already behaving different. It's been 4 days.
Is it gonna be good or bad?
Hey, stay tuned. If I'm not here next year and it's just Remy and charlietrix, you know what happened.
All right, let's move that along. Is this next story a local news story?
Yo, it is. It is.
Boom
It is.
Story. Well,
Citizen
you know,
Boom may have to save us from the.
we can't have this happening in the local area. But Jhan Boom is back with another story, ladies and gentlemen.
We're back, local news. You know what I'm saying? You already know about our local news from Porcupine. I was a Porcupine Beavers.
Beaver Porcupine.
You know what I'm
Porcupine.
saying? To steak stealing bandits. We are here for the fuck shit.
Drug dealing pigeons.
Oh, drug dealing pigeons. We're here for Elevate.
And roosters and men murdering roosters too.
Exactly, but this one is right here in New Jersey. We're wiggling ass down to the stuffed streets of Old Bridge, New Jersey, where, and I'm going to read a little bit of the situation here. So down in Old Bridge, New Jersey, the mystery surrounding the trail of pasta that wound up in a New Jersey town has finally been resolved.
A trail of pasta?
You got to see the image. It's so much pasta.
Ziti, all that shit. He took a little bit of everything.
It was a little bit. It was all pasta.
It was all pasta. I guess he went on the eye and just went crazy.
All right. Let me know what happened.
So officials in Old Bridge, Middlesex County announced that no charges will be filed against the man responsible for dumping over 500 pounds of pasta in the woods earlier this month.
No charges for dumping 500 pounds of pasta in the woods?
How fit do you have to be to dump 500 pounds of pasta? And how? How many trips did it take? Did he do it?
I mean, did he back up a big truck?
Yo, I mean, the story doesn't really detail how he did it.
How he accomplished
because
the task.
The town itself is still like, what the fuck? But community advocates say the unidentified man has a history of mental illness.
Making more sense now. Making a little more sense.
You know what I'm saying? Residents of Old Bridge were startled when they found a bunch of macaroni, spaghetti, and ziti all across Veteran Park down in the tough streets of Old Bridge. Police believe the giant piles of uncooked pasta, which stretched for more than 25 feet in the wooded area, were removed from the packaging and then dumped along the creek. Allegedly
removed from the packaging.
Yeah,
there's some effort that went into this.
Yeah, yes.
500 pounds.
I want to know: was he building something? Was this like a crop circle kind of attempt?
Well, allegedly he went to the supermarket, and this gentleman right here likes to cook pasta, but since he has some mental illness, when he went to the aisle, he wanted a specific type of pasta. I think like a thin. Thin grain. Because I don't know if you guys, of course you've been to the supermarket. When you go to the pasta aisle,
a lot of options.
Could be very confusing. Your ADD, whatever kicks in. I think my man got tired of seeing gluten free. And when he got tired of it, he said, you know what? Fuck this. I'm coming tomorrow. I'm grabbing all the gluten free products and I'm taking that shit down to the woods and I'm dumping it.
Allegedly. I don't know, but
so now
I think it's more. It's crazier than that, but
gluten activist.
Or another alleged story was he watched Ratatouille the night before, wasn't fucking with the way the rat was cooking the pasta. Said no more fucking Ratatouille is gonna be cooking pasta. 500 pounds in the forest.
How much? Pixar. How many boxes of pasta does it take to make 500 pounds?
He would have to clear a whole aisle
outside of the package.
Yeah, bro.
I feel like that's at least
more
like
than
2 or 3 pallets of pasta.
More than one grocery store.
That's what I'm saying. He must have just cleared out aisle by aisle. Unfortunately, because they want to keep him unidentified, they didn't go deep into how he got the pasta. Also, the police was just baffled with this shit.
Was there a trail of pasta leading to like a larger dumping ground?
Yeah,
I would like to know how they isolated and how they got it down to this man. Did they just feel like who just bought a lot of pasta?
It was Jim. Jim bought the pasta. Ring cameras.
Yeah, the way you got Old Bridge. I'm familiar with Old Bridge. My company has a station out. The Old Bridge is a real quiet area that probably people know each other, almost like Lodi. Shout out to Lodi, Lodanians for life. it's a similar type of thing. You know, one person knows the other. They got, you know, I'm in my community complaint on Facebook. Someone probably send out an SOS. Hey, this crazy motherfucker's back out again. And what happened was
This is his sixth trip with a bag full of pasta.
And I'm guessing it's 500 pounds of pasta. So he must have purchased it in a couple of different spots. People went to purchase pasta. Was like, yo, what the fuck? This ain't COVID. Why is everything cleared out? Put two and two together, send out an FB fucking chat.
Some
narrow it down.
investigator triangulated that shit on a map through all the empty pasta aisles.
He probably lives close
in
to
the
it.
area.
Someone probably saw him on the low, but was like, okay, he's probably just doing one.
I
one or
think
two
that we
boxes.
should try to get this guy on the show.
Yeah.
I want to know what his thought process was. I want to know what made him pick that location.
But shout out to the community for protecting him, because they were
having
going to
his back,
arrest
yeah.
him and they was going to beat his ass. But the community was like, nah, man, just pasta, chill
We know
down.
this guy. We know this guy.
him.
He's cool.
Now, let's go back a little bit. As a new-found American citizen, how do you feel about this man getting to violate the community, the forest, take all the pasta, and then just walk away? Is that bothering you? Do you feel
doesn't.
like you should step in?
I think we're going to leave my man. We're going to keep it, because if the community fucks with him, I roll with it as well. As a local community supporter, Lord Alodanians for life, beer, porcupine man. When it comes to local and take care of your own people, I'm always down for that. Also, he left it in the forest, so whatever animal was hungry as shit could probably dip some of those noodles in the water.
There's a whole bunch of different animals out there now eating pasta for weeks.
Exactly, man. Well, not then. The cops took him away, but I think hopefully the cops left a little something for the forest creatures. But he's feeding the forest. Can't be mad at my man. Holla at him, you know, if you want some pasta.
Shout out to the pasta man.
Pasta bandit.
Pasta bandit.
All right. Well, let's keep it rolling on from the pasta bandit.
Yeah, let's keep it sexual.
I think
Is it me?
Yeah.
You got one more.
Okay,
Miss
got
Faye
you, got
coming
you.
here, thunderstorm style.
So this is a little different direction, but
Pow.
just some interesting shit to me. The Alien vs Predator TV series was completed before Disney and Fox merged, but still hasn't been released.
Okay.
So I took this from
Let's go.
Josh Wilding at comicbookmovie.com. I also saw coverage of it on IGN. Apparently,
that is a shot
very
through the
legit.
heart, man. Because I'm a huge Alien vs Predator fan.
Yep.
And they did a whole series, and it's not out.
They got 10 episodes worth of material.
Word.
It could be released. These guys have a streaming service, but they just haven't released it. So, just to read from the article, talking on the Perfect Organism podcast, Fox's former licensing director Joshua Izzo revealed that he headed up an Alien vs. Predator anime series, which has yet to see the light of day even 4 years after the acquisition was completed. There is, sitting at Disney now at 20th Studios, 10 episodes of a fully completed Alien vs. Predator anime series that I produced, Izzo revealed. It's done. It's in the can. It's mixed. It's finished. It was produced and story cracked by Eric Calderon and Dave Baker, two unbelievably crazy talented guys.
Ooh, okay.
Wow.
They're just sitting on it.
I'm upset because that's all finished project then.
Completely finished. So it can't be that much budget left to release
Yeah.
this.
So Disney owns AVP now?
I guess so, because it was part of 20th Century Fox's, properties.
That's the problem though. Why would they do that? That's not in their wheelhouse.
But so to give Disney its props, Prey, the most recent Predator movie, came from after this acquisition, and that's a super dope Predator movie.
Is that in their lineup though?
That's
considered
on Hulu, but
I'm saying that's considered under Disney's belt.
That's under their ownership. Yeah.
Well, then give it to Hulu, man.
They're working on a new Alien movie too. So
because Prey was a really good job. That's another example. All the Predator series and the AVP series, those movies were fantastic.
Yep.
I would love to see a 10-part series on that.
Hell yeah.
Word up, man. Word
That
up.
would be freaking great.
I fuck with Predator all the way. They call me a Predator in the bedroom.
Yeah, the series just sounds dope. So it would take place after the first AVP and Alien 4. So it's got a place in the canon and everything. They had it all set up. They filmed it with a plan to have 3 seasons worth of material. The first season's completely done and ready to go.
All right, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna start a petition. Have Disney release
the
AVP series.
Citizen Boom is with that shit.
Let's go.
Let me get involved in that.
Now your petition signature means a little extra.
It does.
Exactly.
Because
you
before,
had
when
Citizen
you
Boom
signed
to
it, it was kind of just like gibberish.
Yeah.
But now
They blocked
it
me.
says Jhan Boom, the American.
Oh, okay. I like the
The
sound
American. You have to add that to every signature.
The American. Like, who the fuck is this guy?
All right. You know what? Let's move it right along with that one. John, let's swap places on this next one because I want to roll in with this story here.
Right, you going yeah, for sure. Let's do it.
This I was reading this the other day online, and it bugged me out a little bit. But this is, in my opinion, why some people in government who don't understand how the internet works and how, especially like applications, we saw what was going on with TikTok and all that, and we saw the questioning in that hearing. But these people should not be involved in making decisions. But anyway, I read this story. I thought it was hilarious. So let's talk about it. So Google searches for VPN have skyrocketed in Utah this week for one reason. You can no longer visit Pornhub from a Utah IP address. Pornhub has been banned in Utah.
Utah has lost Pornhub.
That alone shocked me. Let's continue. To protest the new age restriction law that goes into effect today, MindGeek's adult sites, including Pornhub, blocked access to its content in Utah. So they decided to do it. The state's legislation requires porn sites to verify users are over 18. If you fire up incognito mode and head to Pornhub with an IP address in the state of Utah, you'll be diverted to a page that has an adult performer reading a statement from the site that claims giving your ID card every time you want to visit an adult platform is not the most effective solution for protecting our users. So they actually have a landing page with a porn star there saying, sorry, no wackadoodle today. We're not taking we're not doing this ID thing. Louisiana implemented a similar law in January, but unlike Utah, it has a digital ID program that residents can use to verify their age and access to the site. Pornhub puts up numbers. Despite how many people insist they aren't regulars, Pornhub had more than 76 million U.S. visitors a day in February, making it the fourth most popular website in the country, according to SEMrush.
What do you think the top 3 are? Like Wikipedia, Google, and then Pornhub.
It's something stupider than that, man. I
78 million. That's insane.
76 million. 76 million folks.
76 million.
Visiting
Shout out.
Pornhub.
Shout out 76. Important
Jhan
number.
Boom is in there, probably in a different profile.
I did once, but I just wanted the current news section.
Once you pop, you don't stop.
The funny thing about this legislation, like, not only are they doing this dumb thing that Pornhub's already like, fuck out of here, but they explain right in there how easy people would be able to get around it by just subscribing to a VPN. So such an easy workaround for this.
Listen to this. I'll read this last part here, right?
Way to fight back.
Lawmakers nationwide are pushing forward legislation that aims to protect the youths from the alleged harmful effects of social media on mental health. 2 other laws in Utah setting limits on kids' screen time will go into effect in 2024. One blocks kids under 18 from logging onto social media between 10:30 p.m. and 6:30 a.m. Wild.
Whoa.
Arkansas, Texas, Ohio, and New Jersey are discussing similar bills. I don't know, John, if they're bringing that shit to New Jersey.
It's all good. I go to xvideos.com. It's all good.
10:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. Where the fuck are the parents? Why are you not keeping your kid off of the phone and playing with shit at that time if that's what you want for your kid?
How much lotion does he have in his room?
I don't think the parents are the ones demanding that they restrict kids.
They probably aren't, but that's what I'm saying. This is that overreach. Here we go,
Especially, it's weird because I feel like Utah, I always think of like libertarian madness, you know, and
Utah
it
gotta
just
be
doesn't seem
boring.
like.
So here's
Asian
the.
aside-
Rather than that, it's some nanny state.
I'll
shit.
read one counterpoint on behalf of these social media sites, which I'm not a representative. Social media companies warn that restricting access to their sites would limit free speech and push younger users to less safe, more fringe corners of the internet, an argument echoed by Pornhub in its opposition to the Utah bill. Some policy experts also caution that adding age and identity verification would only hand big tech companies even more user data.
Data.
Come on.
More data for the company.
Nothing like uploading my ID every day.
Yeah, it is kind of funny that when you really think about it, people want porn. People are going to get to porn. They'll figure
get
out a
porn.
way. You know,
I'm gonna get my
Tell 'em.
shit.
See, Boom's already got backup plans.
If anything, I go old school. I go DVDs.
DVDs.
Well-
Something. Porn is like an unstoppable industry.
You know, we go to romantic deeper right here.
was it?
My heart goes out to the folks in Utah right now dealing with this nonsense. Okay, you should be able to handle your business in incognito mode whenever you want,
And just know,
without Big Brother looking in.
Citizen
like-
Boom doesn't approve.
Citizen Boom does not. He disapproves.
Hell
Utah,
no.
what are you doing, Utah?
So that's an overreach, huh? Of the
Overreach.
First Amendment.
And I'm going in on them.
I wanna
Petitions
know-
are being signed.
If we could correlate this to any crime rate increases that occur during this harsh
You know
time.
what? After
Imagine
6 months of this shit, 3 for some dudes, rampages all over Utah.
lots of-
Men are just gonna be breaking shit.
Utah's about to get crazy.
Crazy Utah.
I don't really know how Utah is now, but shout out to Utah for that one. Johnny, I think you got
Oh
one,
yeah, so we go into the tough streets, man. So we got a little. We got an article here that I have, and also a conversation we had a couple episodes ago against PETA trying to change the Oscar Mayer wiener to a vegan. What was that word we looking for? My algorithms.
Algorithm?
algorithm.
My algorithms, you know, that's like catalytic convert. I got to practice it a couple times. Got my man Remy backing me
You
up.
said, I don't know if you said half acronym, half algorithm.
Hey.
I don't know what that was.
Right.
But
So on, so this story is pertaining to vegans. Do vegans kill more animals than meat eaters?
oh,
That is the topic. Yeah, get ready,
Drama.
you veggie raps.
Boom's about to.
bastards.
Boom's about to throw down the
All right,
ball.
but no, seriously, man. This is an article that was actually originally printed back in 2011. Recently, it went viral on Facebook. 100 titles Chrome spinning, and I'm gonna just read some of it. We put our own input. You feel me? Let me know. Okay, does a vegan diet lead to more animal deaths than a omnivorous? Well, skip that word. I'm a U.S. citizen. Is it true that harvesting crops for vegans?
Skip that shit.
What you gonna do? Pardon me? Okay. So is it true that harvesting crops for vegans kills more animals than farming grass-fed beef? It's time for vegans to take a long, hard look at their lifestyles and choose the path that is truly more ethical.
hold on, this is fantastic.
Hey, wait, vegans. You got to own this one.
Here it comes.
Okay.
Here it comes,
And
vegans.
please don't kill me in the comments, but you know we're gonna get in your ass for talking
This
shit.
is for the Oscar Mayer wiener
is for you,
vehicle,
Beyond Burger.
Wienermobile.
Okay, so veganism is all about causing the least amount of harm possible. But according to a recent article, due to the process of harvesting crops, vegan and vegetarian diets actually carry a higher body count and environmental cost than their omnivorous counterparts. So it's time for us vegans to get on the grass-fed beef bandwagon. Let's find out.
This shit is paid and brought to you by Purdue.
Oh, now the recent article isn't exactly recent, entitled Ordering the Vegetarian Meal. There's more blood on your hands by Professor Mike Archer. It was originally published in 2011, but recently went viral across Facebook when reposted by a fucking love science. I guess that's the
fucking love science.
I fucking love science. Y'all familiar with that? Okay.
Yeah.
It was shared over 100,000 times, most likely posted to the walls of vegans with furious, where pretty much furious, enthusiastic gotcha moment.
Great for trolling vegans. So.
The most inspired retort to the vegan argument since bacon. Take that, vegans. This is much like bacon is not a new argument, just a repackaged one. And despite my cavalier tone, I do believe that this is an important issue to address. Vegans should be aware of the harm that. I'm sorry. Let me say that one more time. Vegans should be aware of the harm that they would do. Okay, but again, we are not above the human condition of harming other beings, and we should acknowledge this and do our best to reduce our impact. Now, basically, that's a little bit of what's going on. But me, myself, the reason why I got so involved in this, I saw an interview of a farmer that was interviewed concerning, because he farms for vegans. Every time he has to pretty much make a whole, farming part of whatever his land is, he has to kill what is labeled as field animals. Where field animals are foxes, rabbits, badgers, mice, a couple other little small deer. So he's like, hey, every time I'm in demand to make a new crop area, I have to kill all these animals, but they're not using it for meat. They're not using it for this. And the most important one that they killed that hits me in the chest is the rabbits, the little bunny rabbits that like to go on the ground, and the rabbits get fucking killed. And there's no chicharron the rabbit, but we understand that you can't compare that body count to the amount of pigs, cows, chickens that get slaughtered every year. But at the end of the day, that chicharron de pollo is way better and is used as a better, what's the word I'm looking for, Remy? Consumption than consuming a rabbit or a fox, which they're just killing them every day. So I want vegans to just acknowledge the fact that animals are being killed to make their nice vegan wraps, vegan sausages, impossible burgers. You know what I'm saying? There's animals being slaughtered as well. So take a little bit of, don't
guilt trip me for eating my burger.
You know what I'm saying?
You killed a rabbit? Is that what you're saying, Boom?
Pretty much.
This is funny that this is the topic. I was watching. Have you ever heard of this stand-up comedian named Ismu? He's a Finland guy.
Funny ass name.
He's a funny dude. So he has a joke anyway, a bit about vegans and about how coming to America, he's learning all these new things, but he just realized that vegans always let people know that they're vegan. Hey, I'm a vegan, and something they want. And the joke was he eats a lot of sausages, but he never tells anybody about that shit. It's something he keeps to himself. And I was thinking about that. Probably everybody else doesn't really go around telling people what their normal diet is or what they eat. They just eat food. But when you're vegan, it's really a thing for you.
Yeah, you have to, though, because it's so natural to assume that, like, hey, you want to come to the barbecue? You got to tell them that you're vegan. Otherwise, you're going to have a burger and a dog on your plate.
In my job, we have one vegan in the whole, in the office that we work in. We had a barbecue on Friday.
Is that meeting quota?
Yeah, that's it. That's 10% that we allow. Another vegan, she gets rocky. One of them got to go. It's like, 10% vegan, that's it. So every time, we have a barbecue, we got to go get her a separate Impossible Burgers, and we got to cook her shit first. Just like with the shrimp allergy, we get it. But at the end of the day, man, you know what I'm saying? You should just eat meat, bitch.
No, I mean, to me, I just think I hate when it comes down to just a purely, that type of, but the murder of the cow and there are other creatures die in the process of creating,
and no one says anything about it.
Again, I'm usually a to each his own thing. If you want to eat vegan, whatever. If you want to eat straight up products like me, proteins, do that. But I do think that if you're talking about least harm, you got to go back to what I was saying a few weeks ago during the Mammoth Meatballs. lab-grown meats are going to cause least harm to living creatures.
Pow.
It's going to happen. It's the way you avoid any type of harms.
But
you grow it in a
okay.
petri dish.
All right,
I want my burger. I want my chicken patty straight out in a petri dish.
All right, well, how do you feel about grounding?
About grounding?
Yeah, like putting your feet to the soil. How do you feel about that? Is that a thing for you?
I guess. No,
I'm just saying.
I think if you...
Don't you think you're getting more disconnected from nature
Mother
and the
Nature?
human experience by just eating lab shit?
No, not really. I mean, I don't get any type of Mother Nature from going to Pathmark and picking out a steak from the freezer aisle.
You don't think the
that's
steak
chopped
at
up,
least
it's in the
resembles a little?
No. There's a button you tap, it goes, moo! Oh, that's mine. That's
But
my
I'm saying
steak.
you could walk out back with shoes off, but I think once we hit
No,
everything comes out of a...
The more nature it gets sometimes with some foods, it actually weirds me out. I don't like picking out my lobster from the tank for them to prepare for me. I don't want to make eye contact with my food. I don't like when they leave the eyeball in the fish either. That weirds me out. But
Yeah.
and I actually like eating a whole red
I
snapper.
mean, look,
but
I
that
don't
part
want-
weirds me out.
I'm not really... I don't want to pray over the dead body before I eat it. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm past hunter-gatherer society part. We can just grow our shit if we could do that.
I'm here for the bunnies.
Boom's here for the bunnies.
I do not like because I saw an example of how bunnies they stay on the ground, like so when they are cleaning up this whole area of crops,
They
man,
just sit there?
Yeah, they don't know what the fuck's going on. So by the time they're done, you're pulling a bunch of rabbits out of the floor, all fucking dead.
Man,
You know what I'm saying?
smarten up.
Foxes,
Smarten up rabbits.
Yeah, they know. I mean,
I guess burrowing creatures don't.
it's just a terrible thing. And all I want is the vegans. I'm cool with it. Yo, honestly, vegan chicken nuggets are super good. Not mad at y'all. But take a little bit of responsibility for some of the few animals that are getting killed during this process and give us our 5% of understanding, and we'll give y'all your 95.
This is something I've said before, too. I think the best argument that vegans can have to push vegan food is to have vegan food that tastes better than the protein counterpart. So if you have a vegan steak that tastes better than the steak, then I'm going to want the vegan steak. That's how you win that battle. It's never going to come down to some type of morality or harm or anything.
Yeah, I think the truth is if it's healthy for you, if it's good for you and it works, I probably don't give a shit as much.
Yeah.
But I do get the initial being skeeved out feeling of this term lab grown meat.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Sounds a little frisky. I dig it.
we'll come up with some nice.
But also GMO
slogan
at
for
one
it.
point sounded horrendous and all
and
that.
literally, it's just
Well, they kind of changed it, didn't they?
nah.
But
just always
John,
apply.
so for vegans, I don't know, man. According to you, they're causing
Well,
more death.
Once I get a percentage, and we'll be back with this story on how many rabbits they've executed, we're going to go even hard on it. Peter, we don't got a lot of info for you right now, so I'm going to look into the camera, let you know. We'll come back for you. But right now, when the stats come out, we're going to get right back into it.
Out of curiosity, I did look it up a little bit.
Oh, let's get it.
It seemed like those were some shoddy numbers. As
Yeah.
far as if you wanted to say more animals harmed by vegans, but if you do the math a certain way, you can kind of cherry pick the data that way.
Yeah, for sure.
But same shit either way.
We get the point.
Yep.
Can you dig it?
I think we're gonna circle back to another AI story.
Ooh.
On
Okay,
this
so-
one, it's that time.
Let's
Or
get it.
is it that time?
But so we've been doing all the downsides of AI and all the scary stuff, or the just kind of weird.
Oh, we
and
got something
bizarre.
good this time?
This is the bright side of AI.
Let's
some
go.
Hopeful story. So, a new antibiotic discovered with artificial intelligence may defeat a dangerous superbug by Brenda Goodman. Damn, I didn't write down what website this was from. But using artificial intelligence, researchers say they found a new type of antibiotic that works against a particularly menacing drug-resistant bacteria. When they tested the antibiotic on the skin of mice that were experimentally infected with the superbug, it controlled the growth of the bacteria, suggesting that the method could be used to create antibiotics tailored to fight other drug-resistant pathogens.
Okay.
The researchers also tested the antibiotic against 41 strains of antibiotic-resistant Acinetobacter baumannii, The drug, that's the name of the bacteria. The drug worked on all of them, though it would need to be further refined and tested in human clinical trials before it could be used in patients. What's more, the compound identified by AI worked in a way that stymied only the problem pathogen. It didn't seem to kill the many other species of beneficial bacteria that live in the gut or on the skin, making it a rare, narrowly targeted agent. If more antibiotics worked this precisely, the researchers said, it could prevent bacteria from becoming resistant in the first place. The study was published in the Journal of Nature Chemical Biology.
Okay.
Wow. That's a fantastic advancement right there.
Exactly.
It's pretty crazy. If this works out, which, first signs are promising, then they found a cure for formerly resistant. And it's because of it grows in lab settings, this bacteria. So it grows resistance to all the things that are normally sterile in a lab environment.
So how are they using the AI to come up with check the data to come up with?
So I do have it written out. It's a little, it's not too bad. Here we go. This is what they did. So for the new study, Stokes and lab teamed up with researchers from the Broad Institute at MIT and Harvard. First, they used a technique called high-throughput drug screening to grow the bacteria in lab dishes and spent weeks exposing these colonies to more than 7,500 agents, drugs, and the active ingredients of drugs. They found 480 compounds that blocked the growth of the bacteria. They fed that information into a computer and used it to train an artificial intelligence algorithm. Once we had our model trained, what we could do then is start showing that model brand new pictures of chemicals that it had never seen, right? And based on what it had learned during training, it would predict for us whether these molecules were antibacterial or not, Stokes said. They then had the model screen more than 6,000 molecules, which Stokes said the AI was able to do over the course of a few hours. They narrowed the search to 240 chemicals, which they tested in the lab. The lab testing helped them whittle the list down to 9 of the best inhibitors of the bacteria, and from there, they took a closer look at the structure of each one, eliminating those that they thought might be dangerous or related to known antibiotics. Okay. By the end of this, they were left with one compound called RS102895, which Stokes thinks had been originally developed as a potential treatment for diabetes.
Okay.
He says it appears to work in a completely new way by preventing components of the bacteria from traveling from inside the cell to its surface. So this, by punching in all these molecules, this AI was able to pick out, to narrow their lists to something they could work with.
Yeah.
And they got a whole new way of
it's basically computing all that information super fast and helping them, figure this shit out. That's fantastic, man.
Yep. Within a few hours. They spent weeks with 7,500 and then 6,000 molecules. They narrowed it.
Okay.
Wow.
Fuck with it.
Shout out to finally us being on here with a really solid AI story, and they're not trying to take over the world in this one.
Yeah, do some crazy shit.
There may be some light at the end of the tunnel. Although, as we say this, the episode that's running today is the one about Jeffrey Hinton,
the godfather of AI
getting spooked and worried about the impending doom coming from AI. But let's keep this one positive, ladies and gentlemen. Mm-hmm. Shout out to AI and the good advancements that they will bring in the future.
Apply that AI to lab-grown meat. Watch, you're gonna have the best goddamn steak ever.
Well, listen, it would be great if we could get to the point where it comes already seasoned to perfection and you just fry it up.
Even the pepper and salt.
Ketchup, all that. It's all in there.
Ready to go.
Just since we got a couple minutes here before we sign off, excuse me, another thing I wanted to mention right up our alley here is this is a story from actually from Hot 97 is where I found the story, but it's from May 17th. And it says XXXTentacion's murder suspect who took a plea deal gets 2 years plus 20 years probation. So the final defendant responsible for XXXTentacion's death was sentenced. Robert Allen, who's been locked up since 2018, will serve approximately 2 years after agreeing to a plea deal for less time behind bars. He pleaded guilty last year and was sentenced to 7 years with 5 years served on May 17th. In exchange, back in February, Robert turned on his 3 co-defendants, Dedrick Williams, Michael Boatwright, and Trayvon Newsom. Once Robert is released, he'll be on probation for 20 years. Double XL points out Robert's attorney said, Mr. Allen very much appreciates the opportunity the court and the victim's family have given him to try to turn his life around. The Jasmine brand reports Robert apologized to XXXTentacion's family and for his involvement in the murder. To say I'm sorry does not even begin the true inner remorse I want to make known. I know that these words that I will speak will never erase the pain and the sorrow and loss of what the family will have from now on. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't think about what happened and beg for forgiveness from God. So, XXXTentacion was shot and killed on June 18, 2018 in his car shortly after leaving Riva Motorsports in Deerfield Beach, Florida. Robert claims Derek, Michael, and Trayvon came up with a plan to rob the sad rapper, and he was against it. So, but that's a foul story. Because he was such a young rapper. He was part of that new wave of rap that I really didn't get with, and he was one of the first in that genre that had some songs that really made me think twice. That okay, I got to look at this style of rap a little different because there is some fire to be had there. Yeah, some dope shit. I don't know what the name of the song is. I think it's called Moonlight, but it's such a fire track. I was sad to hear him go, and I guess you know what. This is the thing. At first, when I was thinking about the story, I was thinking it sucks that, you know, you cop a plea and you're not doing the hard time that the family probably wants. But when reading the story, it sounds like the family agreed and this dude was sincerely apologetic. Mm-hmm.
And that 3 others were involved. Mm-hmm. Yeah. According to this guy, more involved, and they're going to get the book thrown at them.
Yeah, man.
But chances of rehabilitation, especially if the family,
you do the crime, you do the time.
Yes, sir. And Jhan, what are you telling me?
Oh yeah, word up. Shout out to of course, our fallen favorite rapper Takeoff, who was killed last year at the Houston bowling alley. DJ Pat, who was allegedly the shooter, was officially indicted for the murder of Takeoff. So he'd been officially charged. So that's going to be kicking off, so hopefully they put his ass underneath the jail as well.
Another case. Too many of these cases in recent history.
U.S. citizen Jhan.
Also, in both cases, there were like video and images that I don't think should have been so publicly shared. But that's the new world we live in. Terrible. And it's just sad to see this continues. Hopefully,
one good thing is at least the person responsible for the damage and the pain is caught and held accountable. At least in this situation.
For sure.
Speaking of loss, we're gonna circle that right back to rest in peace to all of the soldiers.
Yes, sir.
And the Memorial Day and what this is all about.
For sure.
And a shout out to all the military personnel, families, and people that have to live with this.
Salute.
Yes, sir.
Many, like you said, Jhan, in our own families and friends as well. Mm-hmm. And with that, we just want to say we hope everybody has a fantastic holiday weekend.
Go barbecue, eat good, whether it's vegan, whether it's steak, whether it's ribs. Eat what you want.
That's right.
It's all delicious. And also, get home safe. Don't drink and drive. Uber's too cheap these days.
No rabbits, though.
Don't kill any rabbits. And signing off.
You're listening to TFP, the fan's perspective. You're listening to TFP, the fan's perspective.